Hello everybody, my name is Shankarji. Now we'll be studying chapter 5, Major Domains of the Earth. Domain means a large area. Major means something very important and a large piece of Earth's surface or a large area. So let's start with the Earth's surface is a complex zone where three main components of the environment meet, overlap and interact. They are the lithosphere, that means the solid portion of the Earth's crust. Then the hydrosphere, which is the liquid portion or the watery portion of the Earth's crust. Then we have the atmosphere, which is the gaseous portion of the entire Earth. We also come across another very important term, which means the biosphere. The biosphere is the meeting point or the meeting areas of lithosphere, hydrosphere and atmosphere as shown in the figure. Because lithosphere, hydrosphere and atmosphere are interacting with each other. So this small narrow zone in which all the three zones or domains overlap with each other, this narrow zone is known as the biosphere, because this biosphere is the domain of life. Now we'll take a look at the domains in detail. We'll start with lithosphere. Lithosphere comprises the rocks and soil layers of the Earth's crust. The study of the Earth is known as geology, where if you look at the cross section of the Earth, you have the Earth's crust, then you have the mantle, then you have the outer core and you have the inner core. It is mainly divided into two main divisions, namely into land and water. So the land is divided into continents and the water is divided into oceans and seas. Oceans are very large bodies, water bodies, and seas are large water bodies but smaller than the oceans. So the continents cover 29% of the Earth's surface and the water covers the remaining 71% of the Earth's surface. So the majority of the Earth's surface is liquid, is water. In other words, 71% oceans and 29% continents. The elevation of land is always measured from the MSL, which is known as the mean sea level, which is taken as 0 meters, which is the highest point on Earth, that is Mount Everest. Mount Everest, if you measure from the MSL mean sea level, it stands at 8,848 meters or 29,029 feet approximately. It's there, it lies on the border between Nepal and China in the Himalayas. Sir Edmund Hillary and Sherpa Tenzing Norgay first climbed the Mount Everest on 29th May 1953 and it was very difficult for them. However, they finally conquered the Mount Everest on 29th May 1953 and both of them were awarded great honors for doing that, because that's a great achievement for humanity. The density of atmosphere is very high at the sea level, but as you go above the sea level, the density decreases. That means the amount of oxygen which you can breathe also decreases. So that's why as you climb a mountain, it's very hard to catch the breath. I mean, it's very hard to breathe. We'll study about the continents. The land portion of the Earth is divided into the continents. It's mainly divided into 6 continents. Technically there are 7 continents, but we have 6 continents in which human beings live, known as the fully inhabited continents, and one continent is the only uninhabited continent. Asia, Africa, North America, South America, Europe, Australia and Antarctica or Antarctica. Asia is the largest continent, Africa is the second largest continent, North America is the third largest continent, South America is the fourth largest continent, Europe is the fifth largest continent, Australia is the sixth largest continent and it's the smallest continent. Antarctica is technically, it is a continent, but it's not taken as a inhabited continent, and Antarctica is the only uninhabited continent, so that's why it's a separate continent. Asia is the largest continent and Australia is the smallest continent. It is also taken as a country. So Australia is the only continent which is also a country. It is the 6th largest country in the world. Human beings do not live on Antarctica on a full-time basis. However, researchers, scientists and special people, they have a lot of bases over there from various countries all over the world. They go there, do their research, they live there for a period of time and they come back to their respective countries. So human beings visit Antarctica on a shift basis, on a regular basis, like not on a full-time basis. So in this way, a lot of countries have their respective research bases in Antarctica. because Antarctica is a continent which does not belong specifically to a particular country. So the rest of the world have made an agreement to use part of Antarctica for their own particular research purposes for their own countries. Antarctica has many research stations from various countries including India. Our own country India has Maitri and Dakshin Gangotri research stations there. Antarctica is nicknamed as the frozen continent. Now we'll take a look at hydrosphere. Like I mentioned earlier, hydrosphere is the zone or the domain which includes all the liquid part of the earth, like mainly water. The hydrosphere is mainly divided into oceans including trenches and seas. So what do you mean by oceans and what do you mean by seas? Oceans, just like continents, they are the large, huge, enormous water bodies, and seas, they are large water bodies but smaller than that of oceans. There are 5 major oceans on the earth and there are many seas on the earth. The major oceans of the earth are the Pacific Ocean, the Atlantic Ocean, the Indian Ocean, the Arctic Ocean, and the Antarctic, also known as the Southern Ocean. The Pacific Ocean is the largest ocean. It covers almost 47 to 48% of the Earth's surface. Imagine all the continents taken together, they only comprise of 29%. The Pacific Ocean alone is larger than all the land masses and the continents combined together, taken together. What a big area the Pacific Ocean is. Then you have the Atlantic Ocean. The Atlantic Ocean is the second largest ocean after the Pacific Ocean. Then the third largest ocean is the Indian Ocean. The Indian Ocean is the only ocean which is named after a country, which is our own dear country, India. Then we have the Arctic Ocean, which lies near the North Pole and the surrounding areas, and the Antarctic Ocean, also known as the Southern Ocean, lies in the region surrounding the continent of Antarctica. These oceans have their deepest points. There are certain deepest points on all these oceans. They are known as trenches. So the deepest point on the earth is the Marianas Trench, which lies in the Pacific Ocean. The Challenger Deep is the deepest point inside the Marianas Trench area in the Pacific Ocean. Now we'll talk about seas. Seas, they are also large water bodies, but they are shorter compared to the oceans. So there are a lot of seas in the whole world. Like we have our very own Bay of Bengal and the Arabian Sea. Then we also have the South China Sea, the East China Sea, the Mediterranean Sea. We have many seas all over the world. They are part of the oceans, but they are given separate status. However, water is water. They always overlap. Now we'll take a look at the atmosphere. So the atmosphere is the gaseous portion which covers the earth. If you look at the atmosphere ranges from the mean sea level to 1,600 kilometers above the mean sea level. The atmosphere mainly consists of 78% nitrogen, 21% oxygen, and 1% other gases like carbon dioxide, noble gases like argon, etc. Apart from this, carbon dioxide present in the atmosphere absorbs heat radiated by the earth. This carbon dioxide helps us to maintain warmth on the earth. Otherwise, all the organisms will die of the cold. So that's why we should be thankful for carbon dioxide for absorbing heat radiated by the earth, and it helps maintain the required warmth for sustaining and thriving of life of all the living organisms present on the earth. Like we discussed earlier, the density of atmosphere decreases with height. The density of the atmosphere is the highest in the mean sea level, at the mean sea level, and then it decreases slowly as we go above the mean sea level. Next, we talk about the biosphere. The biosphere is also known as the domain of life. So all organisms are linked to each other and to the biosphere for survival. They are also known as an ecosystem, like say a biosphere in a park, or a biosphere in a natural forest, or in a river area, or in the seas or in the oceans. It's all part of the narrow zone known as the biosphere, the domain of life. So the biosphere is divided broadly or mainly into plant kingdom and animal kingdom. However, it's good to use natural resources, but we have to limit the use of natural resources to maintain the natural balance, to avoid polluting the environment, to avoid pollution, global warming and other natural disasters, etc. These are the major topics which we have discussed in this chapter: the biosphere, the lithosphere, the hydrosphere, the atmosphere, and we also discussed about the continents, the oceans, and we also discussed about the various gases present in the atmosphere. So if you want, you can add your own extra points to the existing knowledge. And if you have any doubts or suggestions, you can let us know in the comment section below. Thank you so much. Have a great day.